talking to students in an individual counseling session, 3 points that have to be addressed, and in fact, the entire conversation revolves around them, is education, skills, and the careers. Now, for the sake of explanation, I will take them one by one. However, when we are having a conversation, they all get kind of mixed up. It is our role as the counselor to make sure that even if they are mixed up, we make sure that we've addressed all the three. And in fact, as you grow in this space of a counselor for careers and career guidance, you will realize that you cannot have a conversation till the time you haven't covered all of these three factors. So let's take them one by one. First one is education. Education meaning the academic performance of the students. That is actually the start point. That is the start point of our individual counseling session as to where is the student standing as far as his academic performance is concerned. How easy it is for him to score marks or how tough. Is he capable of more marks and he's not scoring them? And what can he do? Now, often you will hear students say that marks don't matter. Marks are not the only thing that show who I am. Right, a student and an individual is far more than the marks. Agreed. However, in this space of admissions, of courses, of colleges, marks are the only indication of your capability of academic rigor. How well can you sit with your books, study them, and reproduce what you've understood? How much can you retain? All of this comes from your academic performance, and that sometimes is the only way the others can understand how well you might do in a course or how they might select you. So academic performance does become important not only in India, it is an important factor even in admissions abroad, where students feel that marks don't matter, but they do matter everywhere. It's an indication of how you will sit and study. Then comes the subjects that you like. What are the subjects that you like and what are the subjects that you are scoring well in? It can happen that the subjects that you're scoring well in, you are good at them, but you might not be interested in them. This can easily happen. For example, a student who is in class 10, he's scoring very good marks in mathematics, but he's just not interested in it. He doesn't want to study mathematics in future. He wants to take up arts in future. That can happen. Then comes the point that whatever subjects you're interested in, how do they match up with the options that you might be thinking about? The options might be in your own mind right now. The students can have a few options. And how do those options open up based on the subjects that you're studying, you're good at, you're interested in? Or they might not have any options. Then it is your role as a counselor to give them a list of courses and careers that open up for them based on the subjects that they are studying. What is the eligibility? What is the criteria? What board should a student study? This is also a very essential conversation, especially if a child is keen on going abroad. Then the whole conversation about should the child shift board or continue board in the IB. If the child is sure that they want to study in India, then do they need to shift to a CBSE board, which is more acceptable across India? Should they stick to an ICSE board? All of these conversations are also important to be had. Again, our part as a counselor is to understand how these boards impact studies, what is the requirement of academics from a student with these boards, and what is the difference between them. These are questions to which we should already have answers. One more important part that we will talk about is when we are speaking about courses, then where the child is studying right now and where the aspirational college she might want to go to. Geographically, where are they located? What is the capability of the student as a whole based on his family and his conditions to travel there, to study there? What are the options which are similar over there at his hometown, near about his hometown? These are conversations, these are topics that will come under the education space. We will also talk about how the student is studying. What is his study pattern? Whether he is studying in a way that will take him forward in the space that he is thinking about. For example, we have a student who is not very regular, but he manages to score good marks by putting in concentrated effort towards the last month before the exams. And so far, he has been scoring good marks, and now he's in class 10 and he's opting for science. Now, last moment study till class 10 can still take you through. But we know that 11th, 12th is a massive jump in the quality and quantity of our syllabus. So maybe the student needs to be told that if that is your study pattern so far and it served you well in class till class 10, this will not serve you well in class 11 and 12. It will just add on to pressure. These are the points that the counselor needs to have a conversation with the student. And that is where the counselor can also offer advice, suggestions, techniques, practices of effective study skills. This will be an interesting part to study about, to experiment with yourself, actually, as counselors, as to how practices that you read about, when applied in real life, do they impact you as an individual? Once you've applied them to yourself, it's easier to suggest them to somebody else. So study skills, timetable, whether you want to use the Pomodoro method of 20 minutes of study, 5 minutes of break, again 20 minutes of study, all of those methods are to be used. These kind of study skills is what comes under the education bracket of the conversation. So academic performance, subject, choice of subjects, how subjects impact the choice of courses, how to study, what board to take, the location of universities, and study skills. These are the topics that can be taken up when we are talking to students individually under the entire bracket of education.